Bosnia and Herzegovina. If Belgium is confusing, then Bosnia and Herzegovina is like Belgium on hard mode. This is the kind of country that makes political science professors sweat and cartographers cry. Yet, beneath all that complexity lies a fascinating land full of culture, resilience, and jaw-dropping beauty. Let's start with the flag. It looks deceptively simple: blue background, a yellow triangle, and stars along the edge. But as with everything in Bosnia and Herzegovina, the simplicity is an illusion. The triangle represents the three main ethnic groups: Bosniaks, mostly Muslim; Serbs, mostly Orthodox Christian; and Croats, mostly Catholic. At the same time, it mirrors the triangular shape of the country itself. The stars represent Europe and are designed to go on forever, which is why the top and bottom are cut off. Some historians suggest the EU flag inspired this design. The colors, blue, yellow, and white, are symbols of peace and neutrality, though Bosnia's history is anything but peaceful. Geography, the land of contradictions. Bosnia and Herzegovina lies in the heart of the Balkans, bordered by Croatia, Serbia, and Montenegro. And while most people think it's landlocked, look closely, you'll find a tiny sliver of coastline at the town of Neum. It stretches only about 20 kilometers along the Adriatic Sea, making it one of the shortest coastlines in the world. Ironically, Neum has become a tourist magnet, since it's Bosnia's only window to the sea. The land itself is mostly mountainous, covered by the Dinaric Alps, with steep valleys and rushing rivers carving through them. About half the country is forested, making Bosnia one of Europe's greenest nations. In the northeast, the terrain flattens out into fertile plains near the Sava River, part of the Pannonian Basin. In the south, particularly in Herzegovina, the land becomes rocky, karstic, and Mediterranean in climate. Grapes, figs, and olives thrive here, and winemaking has been a tradition since Roman times. Nature here is both stunning and mysterious. Bosnia and Herzegovina is home to the Perusica forest, one of the last remaining primeval forests in Europe. Some of its trees are over 300 years old, and the tallest measured Norwegian spruce in the world grows here, reaching almost 67 meters. The country also boasts countless waterfalls, including the famous Kravis Falls, which look like a miniature Niagara hidden in the Balkan wilderness. And then there are the so-called Bosnian pyramids near Visoko. Locals insist the pyramid-shaped hills are ancient man-made monuments older than Egypt's, while scientists argue they're just natural geological formations. Whether real or not, the site draws thousands of curious visitors every year, fueling one of Europe's strangest modern archaeological debates. A history of layers. Bosnia and Herzegovina has always been a crossroads. In the Middle Ages, it was a Slavic kingdom. Later, it was absorbed into the Ottoman Empire for nearly 400 years, which explains the mosques, Oriental bazaars, and Turkish coffee culture that still thrive today. By the late 19th century, the Austro-Hungarian Empire took control, leaving behind ornate buildings, Catholic churches, and Austro-style boulevards. One event, however, cemented Bosnia's place in world history: the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo in 1914. This single gunshot triggered World War I. Later, Bosnia became part of Yugoslavia after World War II, and for decades it lived under Tito's socialist regime. The 1990s brought devastation. As Yugoslavia fell apart, Bosnia and Herzegovina declared independence, sparking a brutal war from 1992 to 1995. Sarajevo was under siege for nearly 4 years, the longest siege of a capital city in modern history. Even today, reminders of that conflict remain. Sarajevo roses mark craters where mortar shells once fell, filled with red resin as memorials. The Sarajevo Tunnel, dug secretly during the war to smuggle supplies, is now a museum. And in a piece of dark humor, the city even built a monument out of expired canned beef, mocking the questionable foreign aid they received. The war officially ended with the Dayton Agreement in 1995, which also created the current political system: two main entities, the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina and Republika Srpska, plus the semi-independent Brčko district. Each entity has its own parliament, police, and symbols, while Sarajevo functions as the national capital. To keep things balanced, the country has a three-member rotating presidency, one Bosniak, one Serb, and one Croat. People and culture. Bosnia and Herzegovina's population is just under 4 million, divided mainly among Bosniaks, about half the population, Serbs, around one-third, and Croats, about 15%. Despite their divisions, they all share similar Slavic roots, speak mutually intelligible dialects, and even enjoy the same foods, grilled cevapi, burek pastries, and strong Turkish-style coffee. But ask a Bosniak, a Serb, and a Croat if they speak the same language, and you'll start an argument. Bosnian, Serbian, and Croatian are practically identical, but politics and identity have turned them into separate languages. Even cigarette packs come labeled in all three. Religiously, Bosnia is one of the most diverse corners of Europe. Muslims, mostly Bosniaks, make up around 45%, Orthodox Christians, mostly Serbs, about 36%, and Catholics, mostly Croats, about 15%. It's one of the few countries where minarets, steeples, and domes share the same city skyline. Sarajevo in particular is nicknamed the Jerusalem of Europe because of its dense religious mix. Culturally, the country blends East and West. Ottoman heritage lives on in music, cuisine, and coffee rituals. From the Austro-Hungarian side, you see grand theaters, Viennese-style cafes, and classical architecture. The result is a unique cultural cocktail you won't find anywhere else in Europe. Modern Bosnia and Herzegovina. Today, Bosnia is slowly rebuilding from its past. Tourism is growing fast, people come for the medieval Ottoman bridges like the famous Stari Most in Mostar, the natural wonders of Una National Park, or the mysterious pyramids of Visoko. Adventure seekers love rafting down the Tara and Neretva rivers, skiing in the Dinaric Alps, and exploring abandoned Olympic sites from 1984, now covered in graffiti but oddly beautiful. Politically, things remain complicated. The entities often clash over reforms, and Republika Srpska occasionally threatens to secede. But despite the dysfunction, the system has kept the peace for nearly 3 decades. Internationally, Bosnia maintains ties with Turkey, Croatia, and Serbia, while also balancing relationships with the EU, Russia, and even Malaysia, which supported Bosnian refugees during the war. In a way, Bosnia and Herzegovina is a living paradox. It's divided yet united, scarred yet healing, old yet full of youthful energy. For visitors, it offers not just landscapes and landmarks, but a glimpse into one of the most complex cultural mosaics in Europe. In short, Bosnia and Herzegovina is like the Belgium of the Balkans, messy politics, tangled identities, and confusing structures, but with mountains, waterfalls, coffee stronger than your willpower, and a sense of humor sharp enough to survive anything.